Hey guys, welcome to M&MM IELTS. Today I will be sharing a very important topic of your reading section. We all know that we have 11 different types of questions in our reading section in our IELTS exam, and MCQ is one of them. Now, MCQ is one of those questions which we have done at some point or the other in schools, colleges, universities. So we are all aware what MCQs are. We know that there is a question which has several options, and if it is a single choice question, then you have to select one correct answer, and if it is multiple choice questions, then you have to select multiple correct answers out of the options given to you. And the source of the information or the answer can be an audio if it is a listening section, or if it is a reading section, it can be a passage. In IELTS, obviously we are discussing right now reading section, so the source of information will be a paragraph. So what happens is there will be a paragraph or paragraphs given to you. It can be one paragraph, it can be several paragraphs given to you, and then what they will do is they will give you certain questions. Let's say they tell you question 11 to 15. They are MCQs, and what you have to do is you have to give them the answer of every single question. So let's say this is question number 11. They'll give you certain length of question, and then they will give you options like this: A, B and C. Let's say 3 options, and then you have to obviously select one correct answer. Let's say A is the correct answer. Then on your answer sheet, all you do is you just write down A, or if it is given A like this as option, you write down A like this. Whatever is given here as option title, you write it over here. Now, I have gone through several test papers of IELTS exam, and what I have noticed is that MCQ is like one of those favorite questions of IELTS paper setter, because obviously when you have 11 different types of questions in your IELTS reading section, you will not get all of them in your exam. You may get some, you may not get some of them, but you have to obviously prepare all of them, because you are not aware what question you will get and what question you will not get. However, I would suggest that have this thing in your mind that you are definitely getting MCQs, because no matter any paper I pick up and see for IELTS, MCQ is definitely there in it. So I would say this is a very, very important topic, and it's not that difficult provided if you use the correct strategy and you practice regularly. So let us understand what happens in multiple choice question types. So now one more thing that I want to share over here is, let's say there are certain paragraphs given to you. Let's keep it very easy. Let's say there are 3 paragraphs given to me and 3 questions, 11, 12 and 13. All right. Now, the good thing about MCQ is that you will find the answers of these questions in the order, in correct order. So it will never happen that the answer of 13 is in the first paragraph and answer of 11 is in the last paragraph. That is never happening. Okay. The answer of 11 is definitely somewhere in the beginning part of the paragraph. It can be in the second paragraph as well. Let's say if you find the answer of 11 number in the second paragraph, which means 12 and 13 has to be after that paragraph only, or after that line where you found the 11th question's answer. It can never be before that. So that is a good thing, you know, that you have to go in order. So the best thing to do in MCQ solving is always start solving the questions in order. If it is 11, 12 and 13, first solve 11, then solve 12 and then solve 13. Do not change the order. That is one tip I would like to share. Now also what you have to keep in mind is, don't just assume that because it is MCQ, you just have to select one correct answer out of the given options and just proceed. No, never do that. Read the instruction given to you very carefully, because there might be an instance that they expect you to select more than one correct answer. So if they have mentioned in the instruction that you may have more than one correct answer, then you have to look for more than one correct answer if possible. But obviously if they do not say anything, or if they mention that there is only one answer, then you know that there is only one answer. So the first thing you do is read the instructions very carefully and then start solving any question. No matter how confident you are, you know just by looking at this that okay, this is MCQ, but still you will behave as a naive person, and you will read your instructions, and only then you will start solving your questions. All right, so that is number 2 tip I would say I would want to give you. Now after that, there is one more thing that I have seen students doing, and that is when they read a question. Let's say, again, we'll take the same example, 11, 12 and 13. Let's say there are 3 questions here. Obviously there will be options as well. They read question number 11. All right, now what they do is, after reading that question number 11, they start looking for something exactly same. When I say exactly same, means same words in the paragraph. That is absolutely wrong. Never do that. If you are lucky, you may get exactly same words. I'm not saying you will never get exactly same words. For example, if there is any name, obviously name doesn't change in the paragraph. Name will still remain the name. But let's say if my question does not have a name and it's just describing any situation, then a single situation, a same situation can be described in so many different ways, right? If I give you a simple example and I say that I went out to the beach today because it was a great weather. Okay, I've written this like this. Now someone says that it was 21 degrees Celsius today and it was a sunny day and hence I went out to the beach. It kind of means the same. Now the story was put up in a different way, but both of them are trying to say that because the weather was good today, they went out to the beach. So if I have that narrow mind, and if I think that, okay, what I need to look for is the weather was good, I went to the beach, and then I'll only look for weather was good. And maybe when I see that there is something called it was 21 degrees Celsius and it was sunny, I might just neglect it, thinking that, oh, it doesn't say weather was good. Never do that, okay? Never look for exact same words in the passage. You may get exact same words, but in most of the cases, you may not get exact same words. You may get similar words, you may get synonyms, I would say. So you have to keep that open mind and you have to understand the meaning of the question and look for the meaning in the paragraph and not the exact same sentence. If you keep this in mind, you will definitely nail this topic very easily. Now the easiest way to understand any question is by doing a real example. So let us just do an example and see how to nail this topic, how to ace this topic. All right. So I have a paragraph here in front of me, zoo conservation programs. Okay, it is part of one of Cambridge IELTS test papers question. So definitely we are doing something legit, I would say. Now, this is a paragraph. Obviously, as I said, you may get one paragraph, 2, 3, 4, multiple paragraphs. So as we can see, we have several paragraphs here, right? 3, 4. If I keep on going, there's so many paragraphs. So which means this is a long task that you need a lot of time. You need to use your brain. You can't just ignore anything because you know that there is so much to read, right? So I've understood that it has multiple paragraphs. Now MCQs, questions 23 to 25. They are my MCQ questions. Okay, perfect. Let us read the instruction. This is my instruction, which I will read first. Choose the appropriate letters A to D and write them in boxes 23 to 25 on your answer sheet. So which means on your answer sheet, you'll have 23 and you may have a box or you may have an underline, whatever. What you are supposed to do is, let's say 23, you feel A is the correct answer. You're supposed to write A, or you're supposed to write A if it is an underline. You're not supposed to write the entire answer. That is not what they expect. So it's good that there is no chance of making any grammatical error, spelling error or any other error, and this will take less time because you're just writing that alphabet. So they have clearly not mentioned that you may have more than one answer. So I know that out of 4 options, only one of them is the correct answer. And now my brain knows that I only have to look for one correct answer, and that's when I'll go back to the paragraph and start looking for the answer. So this is my step number 1 and 2. Okay. Now, let's just clear this up a bit for us to understand things a bit easily. Now, let us do 23 first, okay? Because as we discussed a few minutes ago, the answers will be in the order. So it is good to start with the first question first. What is the question? What were the objectives of the WCS document? Okay, now in this type of question, never read the paragraph first, because what's the point? If you read such a long, lengthy paragraph, do you think you can remember the entire paragraph? That too in that pressure of exam? I don't think so. I can do it. So the best way to do is go for it is read the question and then straight away go to the paragraph, because now you exactly know what are you after, and there is no need to read these options, because out of 4 options only one is correct and 3 options are wrong. What happens if you read those options? You are feeding the wrong information in your brain, which is wrong, because most of the options are wrong. Only one of them is right, which means only 25% of what you will be reading here is right. The remaining 75% is actually wrong. So never feed your brain with so much of wrong information. Just read the question and understand what are you after. So what I will do here is I will read my question. What were the objectives of the WCS document? Important words are objectives, WCS document. Now, WCS document is the name of the document. So the name of the document definitely will not change in the paragraph. Objective, they might put it in different way, aim, goal, anything. Let us start reading the paragraph and see what answer we can come up with. So let us go back to the paragraph up there. Okay. Now, just to make it a bit easier so that we remember, what were we after? We were after the objective of WZCS document. All right. Now let us start reading this paragraph, and we will obviously read it a little fast. What I will do is I will give you some time to read this paragraph and find out where the answer is, and then we will discuss it. So what you can do is, the best thing to do is just put your video on pause, look at the screen, look at the paragraph, read it carefully. You have 1, 2, and 3 paragraphs. I'm definitely sure you should get it within these 3 paragraphs because it's the first question. So try and read it and see if you can get the right answer. All right. Alright, now let us read the paragraphs and see how to find out the correct answer. Okay. So one of London's zoos recent advertisement caused me some irritation. So blatantly headlined, "Without zoos you might as well tell these animals to get stuffed." It was bordered with illustration, "Endangered, will almost certainly disappear forever." With zoo world mediocre record on conservation, one might forgiven being slightly skeptical about such an advertisement. So I couldn't find anything here regarding WZCS document or any objective of why that document was invented or discovered or whatever. Okay, so that is out of the question. Now I am definitely sure that if I get my answer somewhere here, I am not coming back to this paragraph for any other question, even 24 and 25, because the answers are in order. So that's a great thing. Okay, next paragraph. Zoos were originally created as places of entertainment, and their suggested involvement with conservation didn't seriously arise until about 30 years ago, when the Zoological Society of London held the first formal international meeting on the subject. 8 years later, a series of world conferences took place entitled "The Breeding of Endangered Species," and from this point onwards, conservation became the zoo's community's buzzword. This is something that helps me. Conservation became zoo community's buzzword. Buzzword means all they were discussing is about conservation. I'm getting there. I'm getting close to my answer, I feel. This commitment has now been clearly defined in the World Zoo Conservation Strategy. Okay? Which, although an important and welcome document, does seem to be biased on an unrealistic optimism and about the nature of the zoo industry. Now I'm very clear, because here they say defined the WZGS, sorry, it was GS, my bad, WZGS document. Okay, so why was the document defined? Because conservation was the buzzword. They were discussing about conservation. All they were discussing is conservation of zoo or the animals in the zoo. Okay, now let us go back to the options and see if I can find something similar. Okay, so let us have a look at the options now. Objectives of WZCS document. Okay, so here it says C, but up there it was G. Now obviously it's the same meaning, it's the same document. Okay, so I think it might be an error here. That's the reason I wrote C up there, but it might be an error is what my understanding is. Okay, to improve the caliber of zoos worldwide. I haven't read anything of zoos worldwide. The only country I read was London. So this doesn't seem to me like the correct answer. To identify zoos suitable for conservation practice. Yes, conservation practice, this is something I definitely read. To provide funds for zoos in underdeveloped countries. I did not read anything about underdeveloped countries or any funds. So this is definitely not my answer. To list the endangered species of the world. No, they did not mention any endangered species. They just gave a general picture, and that was conservation. So definitely my answer is B. So in my sheet, I will write down B because that is my correct answer. So this is how I will approach my MCQ questions. Okay, you start in the order, you read the question, understand the question, never look for something exactly similar in the paragraph. Look for whatever the question is trying to say. You will definitely find your answer if you keep that open mind of understanding the meaning in the paragraph. And then obviously, now that I know that next is 24, 24th question will definitely be after here. So definitely I'm not looking at this part of the paragraph anymore. It will definitely save me some time, right? It will surely save me some time. So keep in mind these things and they will help you to find out the correct answer. And I would encourage you to practice MCQ questions as many as you can, because these are very scoring is what I believe. And I hope you understood how to solve MCQ questions. Keep practicing as many as you can. I just want to keep this video very short, so I will not do a lot of questions, but we will definitely come up with a lot of videos in the future where we will solve a lot of exam questions as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any concerns, questions, regarding IELTS, feel free to post it in the comment section below, and we are more than happy to answer those questions and come up with videos that you want us to bring. With that, I'll say goodbye and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.